Yeah. Speaking of jail.
Terrance Dwayne Winborn.
Yeah, man. 1 day in jail. 1 day gets a damn staph infection. Loses both his hands.
Jesus. And the dude must have had some, it seemed like he had a bunch of medical issues before he went into jail. With
To be
hypoglycemia and
yeah.
yeah, some pancreatitis, a couple other things. But the jail host had a nurse, and well, I mean, you go into jail, man. Nobody gives a fuck about you, especially
And
cops working that bitch.
and that's what ended up happening. Just like we had that other story a couple weeks ago about that dude in Atlanta who was eaten alive by the bed bugs or by the bugs inside his cell. They left him in there to rot. Family just got the settlement. I think it was five. Yeah, I think it was like 5 mil. And now this dude, like, he can't do nothing at that age, and you lose your hands.
Yeah,
It'd be different if you were born that way. You lost both your hands, man. Fucking staph infection. 1 day. 1 day in jail. Shit.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense, man. And I'm assuming these police officers are justifying their actions some way.
Wouldn't somebody who had wouldn't that start to show if they got to cut it off? Wouldn't that start to turn?
I don't. There are so many things that happen when it comes to hypoglycemia and I mean, especially when it comes to these infections, man. Like this shit can happen like that. Like if you have like
Gotcha.
the collapse of blood vessels. I mean, especially the small ones, towards the distal part of your arms. But yeah,
It's a wrap.
you're kind of fucked. Yeah, it just and the thing is, like, if you don't cut off enough, it's just gonna continue getting worse. And that's where I think a lot of doctors, they like that shit could just be in your fingers, and they go for the hand. It's in your hand, they go for the forearm. So
They don't want to do it twice. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, the backside of how fast that could happen. And I wonder, are you feeling any pain? Or, that's what I don't understand, the telltale. Like, how do you know that you even have it?
I would assume it's the color. Usually it's the color change, the skin change. I mean, when you see rotten flesh, I mean it's no different than a piece of meat. It's just still attached.
That's what I was saying about how come, didn't it start to change kind of like when dudes get frostbite?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, with that type of infection, I would have thought that it would start turning black like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got to take that finger. You know exactly which one got frostbite. You got to take that finger off, especially us, Midwest kids playing outside, thinking we could stay out all fucking day long. And it was like, get your goofy ass in there, man. Like, oh no, my fingers, they just starting to itch. Like, no, get your ass in the house, man. But yeah, that's what I was like leading up. Like, damn, for them to take both his hands, they had to see something. That's what I was like, damn, didn't he? I don't know if he sat there and complained. Like, look, man, mind you, he was only there for a day.
24 hours.
Yeah, God dang, when you say it can happen fast, shit. Again, like you said, you'd be surprised they didn't take it up to the elbow just to be safe.
Yeah, it might not be over with. You know what I mean? It might not be over with. I just think how many people with like diabetes, they just got to go back for another chunk.
Yeah,
that's fucking horrible, man.
Yeah, they said, oh, we just need to take off a couple toes. And next, you got to take that foot off,
Hey, they gave him a $12.5 million settlement, and it ain't enough, man. That motherfucker need bionic hands.
He's gonna have to pay for, help for the rest of his life. But with his condition, man, I don't, like you said, all the stuff he got going on, hopefully, leave that to the family.
Yeah, of course they threw in his his legal troubles from before. He was on his third DUI, driving without a license. Like if he's definitely got a reason to drink now. God damn.
Yeah. He got a reason to do everything now. Everything, and got the resources, so hey, man, damn. That's just a fucked up position to be in, man. You done came up at the expense of losing both your hands, man.
Yeah, so let's see. It says it's had a bacterial infection led to a heart attack, septic shock, gangrene, and amputation of his arms below the elbows.
I figured it started to turn. You imagine, man, you go in there for the DUI and you wake up and you don't have your arms or your hands, because what they say, he got arrested for DUI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he in that holding tank, and then he come to. Oh shit, I done fucked up again.
And see, here's another thing is that of course they charged him with DUI, and he might not have been drinking, because if you've ever dealt with anybody with either extremely high blood sugar or extremely low blood sugar, they seem drunk.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
And it can be mistaken a lot of times, and cops do this. They're notorious for doing this shit. Is finding somebody that's in a like diabetic emergency, treat them like they're a drunk driver. Like there's lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit about them doing this shit to people. So
Wow.
like he might not have been,
Yeah, because of his pre-existing condition. Got it.
yeah.
Still, like you said, he had a fucking heart attack. You wake up like, oh man, I made it.
Jesus, I can't even imagine.
You see what I'm saying? Not only, I'm not saying we bypassed that storyline of him being drunk. He had a heart attack. So
Yeah.
once he came through whatever, out of surgery and all that stuff, he woke up and was like, what the fuck happened? And somebody got to explain to him what happened within that 24 hours. Yeah. You think you had a bad day? Yeah. Get in line, man. Get in line.
Yeah. You can't even wave that shit off because you ain't got no arms.
Next. Next. There's something wrong. We gotta get you home. We gotta get you home. You didn't get your spirits are getting a little too mean for me, sir.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Oh, the Chapitos.
Man.
This is fucking crazy, man.
Hey.